The United States is a land of freedom, progress, and democracy, or at least, that's what they tell us in school. But behind the polished pages of history textbooks lies a shadowy labyrinth of buried truths, suppressed events, and chilling conspiracies. Tonight, we pull back the curtain on the dark secrets of America, the ones they never wanted you to know. The lost colony of Roanoke, America's first mystery. In 1587, over 100 English settlers arrived on Roanoke Island, eager to establish the first permanent colony in the New World. Among them was Governor John White's granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America. But when White returned from a supply trip to England 3 years later, the entire colony had vanished. The only clue? The word Croton carved into a wooden post. Did the settlers integrate with the Croatan tribe? Were they slaughtered by hostile forces? Or did something far more sinister lurk in those woods? Some believe the colonists stumbled upon an ancient force, something that didn't want them there. Local legends speak of pale, ghostly figures seen wandering the island at night, whispering in a long-dead dialect. The Philadelphia Experiment, a government cover-up. In 1943, the U.S. Navy allegedly conducted a top-secret experiment to render the USS Eldridge invisible to radar. Witnesses claim the ship didn't just disappear from screens, it physically vanished, teleporting to Norfolk, Virginia, before reappearing in Philadelphia. Sailors were said to have been fused into the ship's metal, driven insane, or simply, erased from existence. The government denies it ever happened. But declassified documents hint at a project called Rainbow, and those who dug too deep met untimely ends. Was this an attempt at cloaking technology, or did they accidentally open a door to another dimension? The truth behind the Tuskegee syphilis experiment. From 1932 to 1972, the U.S. Public Health Service conducted a horrific experiment on 600 black men in Alabama. Promised free healthcare, they were instead infected with syphilis and left untreated, just to study the disease's progression. Many died. Others passed it to their wives and children. The government knew. They let it happen for 40 years. When the truth finally leaked in 1972, it wasn't just a scandal, it was proof of how far they'd go in the name of science. MKUltra, the CIA's mind control program. In the 1950s and 60s, the CIA ran a covert operation called MKUltra, dosing unwitting citizens, including mental patients, prisoners, and even government employees, with LSD and other hallucinogens. The goal? To brainwash people into perfect assassins or unwitting spies. Some subjects suffered permanent psychosis. Others disappeared. When documents were finally declassified in the 1970s, most records had been destroyed. But survivors tell stories of forced electroshock, sensory deprivation, and voices that never left their heads. The Dyatlov Pass incident's American cousin. In 1959, 9 Russian hikers were found dead in the Ural Mountains, their bodies mutilated, tongues missing, and radiation on their clothes. But few know about America's own version, the Yuba County Five. In 1978, 5 men vanished after a basketball game in California. Weeks later, 4 were found dead in the snowy wilderness, one inside a locked trailer, miles from help, surrounded by untouched food. Why did they flee into the mountains? Why was one man's car found idling, keys in the ignition, as if he'd seen something that made him run? The dark legacy of the Trail of Tears. In the 1830s, over 60,000 Native Americans were forcibly removed from their lands under Andrew Jackson's Indian Removal Act. Thousands died on the brutal march westward, starvation, disease, and exposure turning the journey into a death march. But some say the land itself fought back. Survivors spoke of shadow people following the tribes, of strange lights in the woods, and of an ancient presence that grew stronger with every grave dug. Was it just suffering playing tricks on the mind? Or was something far older, far darker, waiting in those untamed lands? These aren't just stories. They're warnings. History isn't just written by the winners, it's edited by them. So the next time you hear a patriotic slogan or a polished tale of American glory, ask yourself, what's buried beneath? Because some secrets aren't meant to stay hidden. What do you think really happened? Drop your theories below, and if you dare, hit subscribe. Because part 3. It gets even darker.